Hey, how we doing? It's JJ. We just parked the truck up, just walking away from where I parked up on the road. Get away from that traffic noise for a bit. Let's change hands, more stable with this hand. And I'm just coming out for a few hours. But what I'm actually doing today is, we're into winter now. And what I'm doing is just, during winter you can just go out for a brief little walk. You can go out for an hour or so and you just go out with a small little pack. But that gets you out the habit of carrying everything that you normally go out with. So I've got a Bergen on my back, and starting to rain. I'm just going to spend a few hours in the woods, going into dusk. It'll probably be dark by the time I walk out. And what I'm going to do is just either set up the lavvu, full lavvu, or there's a little bit of a hidden camp that I might just use as well, which give me a bit of shelter from the rain. It just depends whether I actually want to get the lavvu, which is canvas, absolutely soaking wet. I haven't made my mind. It's just good practice to keep going out with all your kit and practice setting it up as it's colder and in inclement weather. So come back in a bit and we'll see what I get set up with. Catch you in a bit. Just had a quick look at the little shelter that I was thinking about using. It's relatively close to the road and I don't want too much road traffic noise in this little video. If I put this out, I don't know yet, see what footage we come up with. And also the little shelter's right in the middle of a big sort of copse of holly, and once it goes dark it's going to be pitch black, and even when I'm trying to do some film, get some shots, it's not going to come out that great. So I've walked a bit further in, and I'm in a little bit of a clearing here. I'm surrounded by a few sort of hazel stands with some smaller oaks, Quercus robust, and I've decided that the rain doesn't seem to be coming down too much at the moment, so I'm going to go full lavvu. So I'm going to start getting ready, get set up. Now for those of you that normally sort of see me with a lavvu, I normally go a tripod setup, but just for ease of convenience and that today, because there's not too much hazel stand and that around here, and I haven't got any poles already laid out in this wood that I would normally squirrel away and hide. So I'm just going to go traditional centre pole, get a ground sheet down, then my camping mat, then the lavvu. So lavvu. Yeah, so I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get set up and I'll come back in a mo. Hang on. There you go, rain's now coming. I've just finished getting set up. So we've cleared this area so I can get the brass meths burner up and get that going for a brew. And we just laid out, I've got a little light just there at the base of the pole, and just in there, don't know if you can make that out, there's another one just there. And I've just laid out the rest of my kit that I'm going to use. So I've got my TBS Billy canteen with the holder, brass meths burner, my gloves, the meths, my coffee sauce, and then my cutting equipment. And I think it's always really good practice to lay out your kit, and if your lights go out, you know exactly where that kit is in the dark. So that's really good practice. And do you know what, if you take pictures and you put that out on media and people go, oh look at your kit, it's all so neatly laid out, does it ever get used? Don't let that get you down. It's actually a really good practice to be really tidy around camp, so you're not tripping over stuff. And as I say, you know exactly where it is in any given moment and opportunity. So the rain's coming down, I'm going to get a brew on. So this is my little setup that I'm going to be using today, which is a brass meths burner, and I personally never carry this burner with fuel in it. I always bring a little bottle of meths, and this is never full. This is probably about half full, and I've decanted it in there. And don't let it light straight away, because the fuel itself takes a little while to perforate down and settle into itself, and then we top it back up again, and then we'll put the cross members on, place that into there, and then we'll decant the water into the TBS billy canteen, and we'll get a brew on. I'm just going to see if I can do this all one-handed. This might be cack-handed. I might have to come back and do this two-handed. There you go. Okay, so I've just lit this brass meths burner. And when I come out, I never actually carry this with fuel in. I always bring a small little bottle of methylated spirits, and this is generally either about half sort of full, or it'll be a full if I'm going out all day overnight. When you put it in, let that fuel first settle in there. It'll take a couple of minutes, fill it up to the brim, and then what will happen, as you can see, even though that flame is flickering, that the fuel has dropped down almost an inch, and I'll let it bloom for a while. I'll let that go for a bit before we actually start the brew on it, and that just gives the burner a time to warm up. And what we can carefully do is, sorry, trying to do this one-handed. Done that the wrong way round. Just place that over. So I'm trying to film one-handed. Trying to film one-handed is not easy when you're trying to do that. That's good. We'll just use the cup. Can settle that. There you go. The cup's settled onto that. As I say, practice your skills. This isn't too hot enough to place into there. Let's bring that into a nice position. Just let that bloom for another minute, let it get settled, make sure it's nice and even. There we go. And we'll decant the water onto there. So just practice these little things. I do like to use a brass meths burner if I'm not using a firebox, or I'm not using the camping gas stove. It's getting darker, it's dusk, the sun's gone. 5 to 4. It's about right this time of year. Only about 10 days away from the shortest day, longest night, the winter solstice. Put on the nice red ambient light in my lavvu. This has had a nice rolling boil now for a good couple of minutes, as you can judge by the steam coming off. Another top tip when you're using the brass meths burner is sometimes you'll think you haven't got enough of a flame to boil. You just have to bear with it. You know, it's not the quickest system in the world, but it does work. Never ever, once you've got a flame or not in there, get your bottle, undo it and try and tip more in, because I will guarantee it, that flame will go into the bottle, and then you've got a whole world of trouble. It's going to happen right there. So that's had a nice boil. Always have your gloves to hand as well. Good leather winter gloves. I use the Helicon Tex lumber gloves, which are a really good winter glove. Leather with a wool insert. With the brass meths burner, it never gets massively hot, so it's all good. A couple of nice scoops of good coffee. It's nice little wooden spoon there, which you might have seen me using before, hand carved by my friend Paul Michelle O'Byrne. Paul's bushcraft camping and hiking. Traditional wood stirrer. Nice good rolling boil. Not burning my lips on camera for you lot again, I've done that too many times. You can see this is still flickering away nicely, and that will continue to go for a while. So I'm going to crack on with this and just enjoy dusk. It's just great just coming out, spending a bit of time practicing your setups as dusk falls. That's what it's all about. Well, I'm enjoying this brew, and I'm just enjoying the ambience of this mess burner, the flickering flame. The rooks and the crows are coming into roost. Muntjac has started calling out. It's starting to get darker. It's just a great bit of time just to be spent out in the woods, surrounded by nature, practicing some skills, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about right there. Well, you don't need to see my face again. I'm going to leave you with this. And as always, if you like what you see, give it a like. Give it the old thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I always get back to people. And if you really like what you see, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell, so you can be aware of when my next video is coming up. But until now, and until the next time, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up again soon.